form a quality childcare coalition. We are seeking additional funding streams, and in order to pursue opportunities with Okra and work in partnership with CURPSI, we need to request a countywide income survey. Now, don't worry, I've got the funding piece figured out. I just need your blessing to say, yes, you would like us to move forward with a countywide income survey, which will be good for 5 years. And that would allow additional opportunities for Nathan and other county projects to apply for state and federal funding. The request actually has to come from the county. And I have the letter here be signed by President of the Commissioner Board. May I please have your blessing to move forward in pursuing?
In favor of having this survey completed, POCR requirement.
Yes.
The Quality Child Care Coalition has committed to fundraising the $3,000 necessary.
Francisville had to go through a similar thing. Apply for a grant. So, okay, fair say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Very much.
Thank you. Okay, Dr.
Thank
Allman.
you.
Thank you. Good evening and thank you. Tonight I'm here to update you about the progress towards instituting Health First Indiana, funded by the Senate Bill 4, which you graciously opted into for our county. We've talked before, we've had some working meetings with you. Thank you. That we've talked before about we're not able to keep the food inspections and environmental inspections up to date the way the state health department wants them to be done, needs them to be done. Safety of our county. We have money to hire more people to help to keep these up to date. So that is the issue we've talked about before. We have job descriptions that we have updated. Kevin has reviewed those and returned those to us. We've met with Laura, and we do think we have money in the budget to do that. In 24, we have the COVID money, almost $90,000 in there to be spent on the health department. That would be for 24. In 25, we're going to get an additional extra 160,000 to what we're already getting. That's a 3 to 5 year cycle, depending on the state legislature. Now, tonight I'm here to ask you what do I need to do to help further this discussion as far as what the state wants. Sheila Paul met with us at our working meeting. Maurice was kind enough, Laura was kind enough to be there, asked a lot of questions. And she talked about lots of things that we are not doing that we need to do in our county to keep food safe, have adequate septic environmental controls. So I'm here tonight to ask you, what can I do next to help with this discussion? I know I think sometimes you're drinking from a fire hose, like I heard tonight with those issues that you've already dealt with. Now, Leanne is here because she has this position that we've talked about before. She's worked with the schools, school liaison office. That's separate. And I'm happy to turn the microphone over to her if that's what you want tonight. But I'm here to ask, what do we need to do? I'm asking for the council to approve a new position that will a separate, that will become environmentalist and health preparedness. Right now, Edwina is doing environmental plus foods. I want to separate those out. And in the background, our matrix needs to be corrected, if that is what you choose to. And I'm happy to. Yes, Edwina's here. I think she would agree to that. And what happens is inspections are not done as often as they should be done, to the point where we have people coming to us and saying, hey, I have to have my food inspection so I can turn it into my manager upstream. And we're saying, I'm sorry, we have not been there.
So we've gotten the job description back. We've set a salary for it and all. So the only thing, one of the last things would be is a new position that would have to be added into the matrix. So then, if the board decided to add it, then the last really phase of it would be getting it added into the matrix.
How do I do that? Who do I talk to?
And I think it's just a matter of getting that description to the attorney. Yeah, any language that would need to be made. We've already kind of done it in some of the work that we've been doing with the wage adjustments and all. We've kind of played that position into the matrix and all, or the new salary setup. Also, most of that's done. It would just be language that have to be set up for that new position to have to be given to the attorney. He'll write up an addendum and it has to be passed by both boards.
When would you anticipate, if you choose to approve this, when would you anticipate this person be brought on board?
I would say probably not. I wouldn't think probably the first of the year when we know where all the salary adjustments and stuff are going to fall, because we haven't even had a final vote on that.
Okay. When would you be comfortable? Well, again, so I'll be happy to work through Kevin's office to make those changes, but will he do that before you approve of this new position? Which comes first in the question I'm asking?
It's supposed to be for any, I guess that's one of the things that we're lacking on that. That's just honest truth. We're lacking on having a good document process, which get that rectified. So we all have what the hierarchy is and how it's supposed to fall. But the matrix rules state that any changes to the matrix has to be done in writing and presented to both boards. So that would be what we would do next, is put that all in writing. Then it would be presented to the board. If they accept the new position and accept the rule change, then it would be a matter of setting the date as when that position was going to come in, which I would anticipate it being put into the 2024 budget all at the beginning of the year would be my anticipation.
Do I have your permission to talk to Kevin about just the process?
Sure.
He's the one?
Yeah.
I'll be back. I think it sounds like after the first of the year.
It would be nice, also to see where the funding is going to come from, because we haven't seen that. Sounds like nickels.
I can show you balances.
Okay.
I mean, if that's what is helpful, I'd be happy to do that.
Well, I think a set plan is, this is what I want, this is how I'm going to fund it, and then we can make decisions.
I've presented that already.
Okay.
That the 170,000 that you
Okay.
saw, that additional will be presented and will be received in 25.
Okay.
So I'll be happy to pull all those papers. I'll talk to Kevin.
All right.
And work on the matrix process.
This funding, is that through the Senate Bill 4?
Yes, the 170,000 is,
That's really not taxpayer money,
it's state funds, correct?
state funded.
Yeah, these are
That is a little bit
appropriations.
of a difference. But just quickly, I know we're out of time, but looks like in your proposal here, you've matched up the septic and wells with a preparedness
Yes,
Now, when we had the COVID, we already have a EMA.
right.
So is this a person just like that, or
No.
can this person be cut? Can our current EMA satisfy this job?
No, that responsibility falls on the health department. If vaccines are needed, if there are vectors are what carries disease, rats, rubbish, fleas, mosquitoes, things like that, that ultimately falls on the health department, and that's the health preparedness, what that is.
By just going on past experiences, we met several times, EMA, when we were dealing with COVID. And
We work together with,
Right.
of course. Thank you.
I think as far as Leanne, we had kind of a roundtable discussion at one time. Jeff was there, Laura was there, several others. Seemed like we got down to the point of, I think where the confusion is right now is this a county position or is it a contracted position? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ideally, it would be a county position under the health department because the liaison officer fulfills many of the duties that the health department is responsible for under SB. The funding for this would come from the FSSA matching opioid grant for 2 years and then could be covered by the Senate Bill 4 funding. So technically, it doesn't really touch the county budget.
So we're not for sure after the 2 years though.
Well, after 2 years, ideally, it's wrapped into what the health department is doing and the funding that's coming from SB.
I think in our discussion, if it was a 2-year contract and we decide to opt out or opt in, opt out, contracted position, it's not, none of this is taken away from the county decision. So I think all we need to know on this one, gentlemen, is whether or not we contract it or whether or not it becomes another county position.
Well, when we were sitting at the table with Leanne, I thought Kevin advised that it should be a county position.
Yeah. Something filtered back through where confusion about that. I think Kevin's comments, correct me if I'm wrong, but more was legality kind of thing. If this employee did something, liability type situation.
With Senate Bill 4, do we have to have both of these positions? Is it mandated by Senate Bill 4 to have both of these things?
Yes,
Senate Bill 4 mandates what positions the money's supposed to be spent on. I thought it just said that a certain percentage of the money could be used for salaries.
That's not what I heard when I was talking at the meeting on Friday. I heard something different. I heard that none of these were mandated. We did opt in, so we have to deal with it, but we were not mandated to have 2 new positions.
I guess I'm looking for a word. What word should I use seriously? As
Yeah,
far as these school prevention,
yeah.
health prevention, preparedness, is like EMA required? Is it mandated by the state?
EMA,
Yes.
Okay.
okay.
And if we have a disaster, so I guess you're asking, is it mandated? That, I guess that's a two-edged sword. Okay.
I don't know where we're going here. What was EMA or?
No, okay.
I guess my.
I think the
question-
short answer to the question is that the responsibilities that these positions would be responsible for are mandated, whether or not they're handled by existing staff, new positions, or a little of both. I think that's what the final answer is, that SB4 says we have to do X, Y, and Z. If you can do it with the existing personnel, you can. If you can't, then you have to figure out how to do it. I think that's the gist of it.
We have requirements to follow.
Yeah.
Whatever staff it takes to get it done, and it need to.
I'm sorry, Maurice, I didn't mean to,
No, that's
to
all right.
say
That's-
something
that's
different.
all- It's all right. I just,
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna need a bigger courthouse and a lot bigger budget to make payroll.
I think that's why the Senate passed the bill, is to take that responsibility off your shoulders.
Yeah.
Ultimately, talk to Senator Charbonneau.
All right,
I mean, I would, seriously, he's very interested in what we do.
okay.
He wants us to be successful. And he was the chairman of that committee, so he's right, he's on our side. So,
How many employees do you have, Dr. Holden, if you get these positions? Are you still only calling 4 or 5?
well, this is number 5, the liaison officer is or person, school liaison.
So you've got Celindra, you got Edwina, and then 2 more, right?
Andrea Keller, the nurse. Yeah. That's, oh, there will be. There's 3 right now, 3 full-time.
Because I'm looking through these job descriptions, there's 9.
I know.
So,
Well, because, so if you complain that your neighbor has trash in their yard and they won't clean it up, who do you call? You call the health department, and that's the environmental investigator. So,
we don't necessarily have to have
someone wears that hat when Sheila calls. That, if that helps, you asked for those job descriptions, that's why.
Right, yeah, they're not asking for, enough to make 9 people on their staff. They just are looking, asking for 2 more, right.
They call a health department or a building inspector.
If it's rubbish, if it's trash or rats.
Now, how many of those calls you get annually?
I think Terry would tell you in the past, 30. It's related to warm weather. Snow covers a lot of stuff and freezing, but but 30 to 75, I would guess.
So I think we need to get back to the contracted position or county position. And again, this position would go away if we would opt out at any time.
What,
Saying we cannot, not filling the plans, can't find resources to do it. I think in this conversation too, you can contract out some of these things if sometimes it's good for counties to go together to get things done as well. But bottom line is, we're 45th. And that's, we'd like to improve that. And we got people that's devised a plan to work on it. I think we need help as much as we can with, as long as it is within a reasonable budget, which I think it has to be. They're getting money from the state. I think we had to have a match, but didn't require any more county money coming. Match, we have that. So, and again, it was Kevin, as Sheila mentioned, Kevin's concern that we go county, but I think on the other side, or mentioned, so we get into different scenarios where, money going through, money going out, money's coming from a different direction, not tax funds.
Chuck, I can't speak to Laura's side of things with where the funds go, where they're deposited and where they come out of, but I was at Kevin's office when he and Colleen were reviewing these job descriptions. And what they had explained to me was that if Joe Blow is hired as the liaison and it's a part-time job and he's also working part-time at the grocery store, contract is fine then. But when that position becomes a full-time responsibility as the person's sole or primary source of revenue, federal employment law requires that it be on payroll. If it's part-time and they're making money other ways, you can do that contract, but as soon as you've got them in 35 a week or whatever the minimum threshold is, have to put them on payroll.
Okay, we have a motion to make it a county position. I'll make that motion. Other discussion?
Yes, just for my purposes, you say, make that position. What position? Which, both positions, one position?
We're still talking about the school.
Or are we just talking about the school liaison? That's
That's a position. That's the only one we had a conversation on where we were thinking both ways, whether it be a county or a contract. That's all we're dealing with this motion. Sorry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank. Get out of your hair. Get a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Want to do the same?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
I'll accept the motion